thought that things like Kaizen would be coming, a step up in technology would be coming to support the movement of goods and services. So we had to be there with it.
Yes.
We had to step up with technology. And I think we did a fair job. As I say again, with you boy, you really surprised me with you saw things ahead that a lot of us didn't even think of. And but that's why it wasn't difficult to pick you out in terms of the development.
Yeah, the
And
secret was, and I mentioned this in other podcasts, is that I was given enough training at the top.
oh
And
yes,
it's kind of sad that
yeah.
what my wish was to get the staff to be
Mhm.
exposed to the type of training that I underwent, because
Yeah.
I went to Japan, I went to South Africa, and I saw how they operated. And what I did was I just took those concepts and brought it back to Jamaica and customized it to fit our requirements. You get what I'm saying? So that was one of the reasons why things were able to move so fast, so rapidly. And a lot of persons bought into it. But at the same time, no, you saw the changes and
Yeah.
you accepted the changes, and it bore results.
Yes, indeed. And I tell you something, how it appeared to me is that probably, boy, somebody older than you probably would not have withstood that rapid movement
Mm.
around the world to get the kind of technology within your head as you did. So probably the age group was the right choice also. Yeah, man, and there are a lot of things, Chris, that there are a lot of happy moments, and there were some sad times when people that we work with for years probably would have some kind of problem and death and all that. We attended quite a few funerals.
Yeah, I remember the funerals. I sat down the other day and I was counting on one hand how many of persons we worked closely
Yeah,
made the transition.
exactly. And boy, thank God we're still around. We can discuss these things.
Yes, yes,
Even,
yes.
even, even notwithstanding this terrible pandemic.
Pandemic that we're in right now, and it has, and really and truly, it's one of the reasons why we're here, because it has forced a lot of us to reach out and to
Yes,
reflect, right,
yes,
and
indeed.
to honor those who have been there before us.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, man. You see, we have ensured at Toyota, though, that we were in a position to prepare for an ever-changing market. Because,
Hmm.
as I say, with the income of Kaizen,
Yeah,
it made it made a big difference as to how Kaizen could almost speak without a manual touch.
yeah,
Not by I mean, in other words, Kaizen. The only thing left for Kaizen to do is get up, walk from out of the bin, come to the sales counter and sell itself.
hmm,
Because Kaizen was, although it did take some work to put it all together,
yeah, yeah.
but it
It
was
did,
a
it
great,
did. Yeah,
yeah, it was a great step upwards in terms of development and technology. You know, couldn't we can't could never exist in this time without something like Kaizen.
yeah,
But then again, we were changing rapidly throughout the years, but the technology came from Japan with the Kaizen, and we employed it to the best of our ability and made us. It was successful right down the line. I don't know exactly what Toyota is using now? Have they applied anything new to the Kaizen effect, Chris?
Yes, it's continually improving, So
Mm-hmm.
as the notion goes, you're always
Okay.
finding innovating ways to do business. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? With the Toyota production system, it's constantly changing, constantly moving ahead. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
Toyota is the number one manufacturer. And I was telling someone that Toyota has always been number one. They just don't want to be number one. Right.
Indeed.
And yeah, and every time they go to number one, they find some reason to knock themselves from the number one position because they don't want the spotlight.
Indeed.
They're basically happy with how they're doing business. The
Yeah.
the part of the problem is it's at the dealership level now where you have the infighting and the egos and everybody wants to be the boss and
Mm-hmm.
display a certain amount of, well, I wouldn't call it decorum, but hostility
Mm-hmm.
once they get there, and that is where the ego comes in. But at the
Oh, I
same time,
see.
now you have, because Toyota prides itself on the way they do business. At the same time, now each dealership is ranked based on the policies and standards and guidelines that
Indeed.
Toyota wants them to operate at, right? And that is why you'll have the top 10 dealerships within a particular region. They are the ones will continue to be successful because
Mm-hmm.
they are the ones adhering to the policies that are set
Yeah.
out, and they do
Yeah.
a lot of benchmarking, best practices,
Yeah.
training facilities for the staff. The customers are happy. They're
Mm-hmm.
constantly looking at their market share, improving their UIO, utilizing after sales strategies. Marketing is also big on their agenda, but
Yeah.
they are the ones who look at their absorption rate and say, okay, we're going to concentrate on that, because by maintaining a high absorption rate of over 80%, it
Mm-hmm.
will eventually resonate in happy customers, happy employees. So if
Oh,
you
yeah.
have both the internal and external stakeholders as happy as ever, well, the sky's the limit. And then you
Yes,
find that
indeed.
the ones that are not in the top 10, those are the ones that are having the challenges. They have the high staff turnovers, right? They have the falling out at the top. They're having problems with their policies. They're having problems with their customer base, and the list goes on.
Mm-hmm. I Well, I see where Toyota has kind of become quiet in the States, but I don't know. I don't know how true it is. It's somebody I heard making that suggestion, but I don't know. I don't know how true that is.
Well,
You
the
know.
state is kind of different because it's broken down into different regions. Who is
Mm-hmm.
responsible for where,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And that is where some of the options itself
Mm-hmm.
it depends on who reports to who reports where, who reports to who.
Oh.
Because whereby in Jamaica you have one dealership that is responsible for the entire country,
Mm-hmm.
In where I am right now in my region, you'll have 4 or 5 dealerships competing against each other. And they're
Mm-hmm.
not only competing against each other, they're competing against other manufacturers and brands as well.
Yeah. That has come into the ring at a much lower cost
Exactly,
and all
exactly.
that.
So so there's a number of factors they have to look into. But at the same time, one of the disadvantage you have now, and I always attack the top. And the main reason why I attack the top
What
is that
about rollback?
rollback.
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
Price cuts and all that kind of thing.
Cost
Oh,
cuts.
oh, oh. Mm-hmm.
The thing is, things are always changing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons why a lot of manufacturers, they will find innovative ways to cut cost, meaning that they will take a plant they will no longer be manufacturing their cars
Mm-hmm.
in one region. They will move it to another country,
Mm-hmm.
because one of the highest costs you have is labor cost. So they will
Labor
try
cost.
to, labor cost is one thing.